Hey folks, it's Eric from Support Adventure, and I'm here to talk about digital nomad visas and why I think a lot of the time they kind of miss the mark for what we digital nomads want. Because like they're too focused on the actual visa part of it. And I think what we actually want is a full support of our lifestyle in the country and the ability to go places and kind of like have a soft landing in a place we've never been before and actually make a place a base as a digital nomad. So the first thing that I'll say about digital nomad visas, and we see lots of them coming out from different places, they're too focused on just letting you in the country and giving you the ability to stay there longer than normal tourists do. And this is not really that important a lot of the time because, for example, with my Canadian passport, I can go in a lot of countries for 3 months initially. There's a lot of countries where I can even go for 6 months or 1 year without a visa. And, Mexico, I can go for 6 months right off the bat. And Georgia 1 year, and countries like Thailand have 1 month visas or 2 month visas that you can get initially. Tourist visa for my passport is 1 month initially, but that doesn't really, like, the point is that the issues of being a digital nomad aren't really staying longer in a country, although when you really love a country that can be a thing, but it's these visas and these programs need to do more to help figure out things like bank accounts, like tax residency, and mailing addresses. These are the things that are really difficult to handle sometimes as a digital nomad. So yeah, not really, like, because just being a digital nomad, you're going to travel to other places. I'm not going to like get a visa in Estonia and stay in Estonia the whole year. And I guess it's cold for like 7, 8 months a year there. It doesn't sound like a good idea. Yet Estonia's like digital nomad visa seems to be for people who want to do that. And it's sort of against the idea of being a digital nomad. Is like you're probably going to want to go somewhere warm when it's cold in Europe or North America if you're from Europe or North America, and you're probably going to want to be in Europe or North America or South America or other places when it's nice to be there and not be in one place the whole year. So yeah, too focused on length of stay. And there aren't really enough benefits. It's all just like, okay, you can be in this country, yeah, and then what? Yeah, okay, what else is it going to do for me? How is it going to help me with my actual life once I'm there? So the next one, which I see as a big issue with these digital nomad visas, is high minimum income. So um, I often see that you need to make like $3,000 a month or something like that, and be able to prove it if you want to take advantage of some of these digital nomad programs, which I'd say for a lot of digital nomads, and especially these countries, like you know, what if you are someone who wants to be a digital nomad for $1,000 a month, and you're in a country like Serbia, Mexico, Thailand, where you can very easily find a way to scrape by on that amount of money. But then the digital nomad visa tells you that you need to make 3,000 a month to even start. It doesn't really help you get started. It doesn't really help you, you know, it doesn't really make it attractive to make that your base and want to stay there longer if there's a barrier of entry of 3,000 a month. I'm not sure which ones are 3,000 a month, but I've seen some, yeah. Bureaucratic hassle, having to go to an embassy and apply for papers and stuff like that. Most of us are used to actually just flying into a country, renting an Airbnb, and off we go. So the idea of applying for a visa to stay in a place, and it's a little bit off-putting, and given the choice, I'll probably just keep on going to the places where I don't have to do that, where I can just fly in and enjoy my life. And the last thing that I don't like about what I'm seeing there's not enough emphasis on community and sort of like building communities of digital nomads, because flying to a country and being a digital nomad can be a very lonely thing, and we need to connect with each other, to connect with locals who are interested in meeting foreigners and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, what we would like to see at Support Adventure in digital nomad visas, well, here we go. So the ability to come and go for years. So I'd like to see a digital nomad visa that basically you have the digital nomad visa for a certain European country, and you can go and stay in that country anytime you want in the next 5 years. It's valid for 5 years, and basically you can go and take advantage of certain benefits while you're there for 5 years, and you're already pre-approved for residency for the next 5 years if you decide to move there. Of course, once you're there more than 6 months of the year, there could be tax things that you have to deal with, but that should all be like a path that's laid out. Like, you get the residence, you're literally approved for residence, you can go there anytime and start your life there, and you can go there for shorter times and try it as a tourist, and then if you like it, just stay. That would make it a lot easier, because a lot of the time it's easy to go and visit a place, but then once your 3 months or whatever is up, it's just difficult. So, if it's very easy to get a digital nomad, like an online application process for a digital nomad visa for, let's say, Colombia, and once you get that, you pay a fee of, I don't know, $100 or something. Then you can go to Colombia as a tourist. And then if you want to roll into residence, it's easy. It's already pre-approved, and you can just, without even leaving and going back in the country, without going to an immigration office, just online, just say, hey, I'm staying longer, I'm activating this nomad visa. So pre-approved, that's valid for years, where you can go and start a longer stay at any point. That would be great. The next things that I want to talk about are some of the things that as a digital nomad, we struggle with. For example, a mailing address. So virtual, and when you start companies abroad, like I did with Supportive Venture, you usually can get what's called a virtual office address, where mail arrives at a location, they open it and scan it and send it in a PDF. I think all digital nomads would really love to have this, and it should come with any sort of digital nomad visa, this type of service, because it's a very easy service to offer, and it makes it a lot easier to sort of just like operate with stuff like bank accounts. That brings me to my next thing. Digital nomads need bank accounts that they can use around the world while they're traveling, and without the scrutiny of, a lot of the time, if you log into your online banking from abroad, or you use your card like somewhere abroad, you can be like put in the fraud department's investigation schemes automatically, because they think that you're, the card's stolen or whatever, that you're a hacker or whatever. And, having a country that has a digital nomad visa and a banking partner in their country that allows digital nomads to open bank accounts and set that up, and understands the lifestyles of digital nomads, and a global bank account with, favorable currency conversion rates, ATM fees around the world, all that sort of stuff, would really go a long way to make a holistic package that would say, hey, I want to sign up for this digital nomad visa in this country. It would be really useful. Also, tax residency. Now, a lot of the Americans who might be watching this, it's not as much an issue for them because they're taxed globally based on their citizenship, but us Canadians and most other people in the world are not. And so what this means is that you want to find a place to set yourself up as a digital nomad, even if you're only going to spend, a few months there a year, less than 6 months, which is kind of the generally accepted threshold of where you're tax resident, although there's other things to sort of like take into account. But, a nice way to be tax resident in the country that's offering this digital nomad visa, a nice way to form a company that's really well set up with the banking industry for taking an income from abroad, through like the, Euro banking system or the British pound banking system, and, stuff like TransferWise, having access to that. And just a way that you can pay taxes that are considering the fact that you're a digital nomad who has to be tax resident somewhere. And, okay, you could have this country just say, okay, we're going to take 15% of the money that comes in through this business, then you're free to do business around the world or something like that. That would be very reasonable. And you have a bank account, and we're not going to have heavy compliance for, it's just 15% of the net profit of your business. And then your home country and all the other countries can leave you alone because you're a tax resident of our country, and we've got a minimum, of you have to spend 1 month a year here or something like that. I'm not a tax lawyer, but you get the idea. Just simplify the process, because it can be very complicated if you own a company in one country and then you're tax resident in another country and stuff like that. So the tax residents would probably be in the country where you're spending the most time. And, hopefully these programs, digital nomad programs, would make you want to do that. And yeah, it'd be really good. And the next thing is like one of the biggest problems for digital nomads is loneliness. So it'd be really good to have all the other people in the program be a member of a club, an online forum, and all that sort of stuff where they can talk to each other, meet each other based on interests and all that stuff. Couchsurfing is my favorite website for meeting other travelers, and it's a great website. And a club of other foreigners and in-person events and co-working space communities and stuff like that come with the application fee for digital nomads, because the country should not just want to let you in to their country as a digital nomad. They should want to make sure that once you get in that country, you're going to have the best experience as a digital nomad. So you want to spend more and more time there, spend more and more of your hard-earned money there, and hopefully become a tax resident there, as I said. And, if you foster this community through diverting some of the money that you're making from digital nomads paying taxes, from digital nomad visa application fees, and you actually put it into community in a way that fosters online and physical community spaces that people can connect with like-minded people, that I haven't heard of any country doing that. And it really can solve a lot of problems that a lot of digital nomads that have with loneliness, isolation, not being able to meet like-minded people and stuff like that. Because, like if you come to a lot of countries, it's great to be in a foreign culture, but you can find that working online, you might not have a huge amount in common with the local people who are just, living their lives in the country. But, for example, if the country that you're going to has a strong IT sector and you're a digital nomad, you'll find that if you go into that sector, you'll find lots of people who you have a lot in common with, because they're also working remotely, internationally, and, speaking English and all that sort of stuff. So the governments who want to attract digital nomads should go further and actually, make these spaces. Also, when you land, it's always good to have accommodation. And I think this should be a part of like when you arrive in a city with a digital nomad visa, maybe even, like have a place, a digital nomad neighborhood of the city where there's a bunch of places, and each digital nomad gets like, get to land in that place and in that community. And, they're running places where you can stay for a week, 2 weeks while you find more permanent accommodation. And that's an idea as well, because that will foster the sort of community I talked about as well. So, and the last thing is you need to connect them with local guides who will do everything from take them out to the bars, help them rent apartments from local landlords, help them, get mobile phone plans set up, bank accounts set up, all this sort of stuff. Having a sort of VIP service for digital nomads that brings them into the country, introduces them to like-minded people, shows them the city, what's great about it, the local food, local culture, the cool bars, the weekend getaways they can do. Have people who help them do that and handle all of the awkward parts of being in a local culture, like getting a mobile phone plan, like finding and renting an apartment, because Airbnb is usually twice as expensive as renting a local apartment. And, just people who can help. And yeah, all these things can go a long way to make digital nomad feel welcome. But it's not just about letting them into the country. So thanks a lot. This has been Eric, Support Adventure. And until then, I guess we're just going to have to go as tourists. But I hope countries will evolve lots of ways in the future of having us have a nice, soft, friendly language landing in their country. And basically just, make it a place we want to stay. Catch you guys later.